Hey everybody, this is Rich, and you're with Beekeeping with Rich, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. And this is kind of a real South Florida point here that we're going to do today. Um, this is the time of year when I need to set up a temporary stand in my apiary so that I have the room to make some splits. And as we start catching swarms here soon, I have some place to put the 2 or 3 or 4 swarms that I'm likely to catch. So I normally just stack up some cinder blocks and lay a couple of 4x4s over them to make the temporary. But I was browsing around in Home Depot a couple of weeks ago and I saw these super heavy duty temporary fence posts. And I was thinking to myself, what a great hive stand these would be, because being South Florida, high humidities, high heat, even 4x4s, when you set them down in the spring, they're pretty straight. But over the course of a couple of months here in our damp, wet springs and such, they'll start warping all over the place. They literally don't stay straight. And sometimes they get quite a bow in them. So I was thinking about different ways you could do it. First thing I thought of was maybe using some hurricane fencing top rail, something like that. But I found these super heavy duty temporary posts. These aren't your 14 gauge steel stamp things. These are dimensionally molded pieces. Now you see all these knobs on the back for supporting the hangers for the fencing, and you think, well, that kind of makes it difficult. It really doesn't. If you look, as long as you're avoiding the flange down there, doesn't matter which angle you set them on. You got double contact there. You still just have a high ridge here because these don't come up that far. But since I wanted to make maximum use of them, if I had to buy a 7-footer, I wanted to do something that would avoid this being any kind of issue. The anchoring flange. And then I noticed that they had these 8x8x8 half blocks, and they had the deep groove in them. So, oh look, boom, boom.
Oh, lift it up and show the groove again. Fits right in.
Fits right in, lays right down flat, no problem at all.
Stable.
Very stable. Gives you only this one thin point of contact for the box to sit on. Centered on 2 cinder blocks this way, it gives a good spacing. Could you cheap out and do it the other way? Yeah. You could put it all on one and have it like this, but I don't think that's a good idea because I'm not sure how stable it would be. At any rate, I'll do a measurement and I'll make sure these are about the 16-inch mark, or maybe I'll just measure them so that I can drop a frame between here and here, and I'll use that as my measurement mark.
Don't you have a measuring tape in your hand?
No, dear, I have some Tanglefoot in my hand.
Oh, okay.
I tell you what, one little container of Tanglefoot can last you forever. My container of Tanglefoot was so old that I went to use it the other day and the plastic lid crumbled on me. So I had to heat up the Tanglefoot and transfer it over into another container. Why I prefer these to some 4x4s is mainly because ants and things like that, the smaller the surface you can give for ant contact, the better. Now, this is Tanglefoot. It's been around since the 1860s. It's a super heavy duty petroleum based product that you just coat it like this, and that stops ants and other critters from crossing. So, you put that at 4 points and it'd be great. And you think to yourself, well, if other insects get stuck in that, don't bees get stuck in that? That's what I thought for years, because I've used Tanglefoot. When I say I've had it for years, I don't mean I only got this when I started beekeeping. I've had tanglefoot around for many years because I use it on young fruit trees and things to keep the insects out of them. I had never thought to use it for beekeeping because I figured it would be a problem for the bees. But I was watching a Barnyard Bees video one day, and he put some on a 4x4, and the bees were just walking back and forth over it like it was nothing. And he says, you know, it works for ants, but doesn't bother the bees. So I started using it out here too, and you know what? I've never found a bee stuck to it, never found a problem with it. So tanglefoot, a great way to keep bees out of your hives. And if you have something that has a fairly small surface area like this, then it's easy to have just enough to do the job and not waste a whole lot trying to smush it all the way around a 4x4. So at any rate, that's my logic. I could have made this stand for free. I've got 4x4s right over there. I got plenty of regular cinder blocks. I chose to spend $40 to make this 7-foot long stand this way because it's permanent in the sense that these pieces can be dismantled and reassembled year after year after year. There's not going to be any decay or deterioration on them. The 4x4s I have over here have been deteriorating slowly over the years. And of course, they're much more attractive to insects and critters and such than these bars are. So that's all this is about. I come up with this idea, and last night I executed it. I went to Home Depot, picked these things up. If we can, we're going to try to get the shelf label into the comment section so you know exactly what these are. You can buy these in 5, 6, or 7 foot. At 7 foot, they cost just under $10 a piece. Super heavy duty, dimensional steel, not stamped metal or anything like that. And the cinder blocks are what do they run? $2.87, I think, a piece or something like that. At any rate, the whole thing came up to $40 and tiny change. That was just tax. It was less than $40 without the tax. But I just like the idea of having these nice thin ridges because it's easy to do ant protection and such from them on that. And they're stable and they're not going to bend or give or anything like that. So that's it. Wind up this video. I've got to do some splitting later on today, and maybe we'll get that on video. Don't know, but we'll give it a shot. So this has been Rich, South Florida Beekeeping. Hey, like and subscribe. Talk to you guys later.